So I'm going to be adding a power jack to the Virtual Boy Consolizer. Now, the main reason being the power supply goes into the controller. Controller extension's about this big, so it makes sense. Then you don't have to sit so close to the power supply. And we're going to be doing it using 9 volts, center positive, and a switch with an LED right there. Easy stuff. Especially because I don't see anything really on the internet about this. So someone's got to show people how to do it. So we'll have the power supply in the back. Yeah, because of space and aesthetic, we'll put the switch back here too. Something like that. I like that. I'll do that. This one's gonna be big. Figure out some of that. Gentle. Got all day, nice and gentle. We don't want to crack the 3D print. We don't want to go through to the board. You'll be able to feel it when it's about to go through the print. Just make sure you have control. There you go. And once we have a rough fit, we can file it a little bit. That'll fit good right there. Perfect. Look at that. A little bit of filing and that'll be perfect there. Okay, that's not the one I'm worried about though. Big one's what I'm worried about. So I don't even think this 1/2 inch is gonna be big enough. Nope, it won't. I had to be creative with this one. I do like using the switch because it has the lighted LED. And it's black and it doesn't look industrial, it looks nice. It does have a power supply already, except that it's in the controller, and the controller's extension's about yay big. So the power supply goes into the controller, and then you turn on the system by hitting the on switch on the controller. And so you have to be like right next to the plug. So with this, I'm going to be using a laptop type display, so no wall wart. And it's going to be, so you're going to have like, you know, just like a laptop, you know, you have a brick there, but it'll go into 9 volts because it takes 3 AA batteries. So, 6 AA batteries. Yeah, 6 AA batteries to power it. So that's 9 volts. So it's just going to go into a little socket like that. And that way I can bring this like way far away from the plug. And how you doing? How you doing? On this fine Patriots Day. That's why I'm working on a Japanese console, because it's Patriots Day, you know. Oh, nice. So I'm sorry to hear about your fuse there, Paul. You blew a fuse last night, literally. To go through. And then go slow. Back it up. Perfect. No damage. Look at that, huh? Perfect. That's how you do it. Slow and steady wins the race. Oh, the electric heater, that's what did it. The electric heater totally did it. You know, electric heater is going to run at 1200 watts, if not more sometimes. 1200 watts minimum. Usually sometimes 1500 watts. Which that equates to, I mean, 1500 watts is around 12.5 amps on a 15 amp circuit. Whew, you're already there. You're almost there. Well, it's good that you blew a fuse then, because that means the breaker did what it was supposed to do. What it was designed to do. Alright, we'll mount this. Open this up a little bit more. Yeah, this one's going to be the harder one. We have to play around with this one a bit. So yeah, so it's a good thing. It's a good thing that that fuse blew. 7 now. I mean, it's an RPG to begin with, so that's, you know, it's mandatory. At least a play session is a few hours. Mandatory. say the only time it would, it's not mandatory to have an hour or 2 hours into a playtime in an RPG is when you're tending to your, it depends if you want to say Chocobo or Chocobo garden. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but on the amazing Sony Pocket Station, you could do that on the Japanese version of the original Final Fantasy set. Actually, it might have been Final Fantasy VIII that you could do that, yeah. But in your futuristic at the time Pocket Station, which it really was. Oh, I have 2 Pocket Stations. I love them. And I had a friend, and I know Katie knows him, Ken Chan. He's the one that would get me all my Japanese import stuff back in the day. And so he got me a Pocket Station, and it was amazing. It was awesome. Chocobo? Yeah, see, so I've heard Chocobo, Chocobo. I've heard it all. It's back in the day when they didn't have voices in the game, so, you just kind of guessed on stuff. It's like the classic Ninja Gaiden, Again, that's another one. I always pronounced it Ninja Gaiden. It's Ninja Gaiden. But now there's a bit of controversy with it, whatever way you go ahead and say it. What are you, Paul? Are you a Gaiden or a Gaiden? What are you? Are you a Ninja Gaiden? Ninja Gaiden? Gaiden. There you go. See, I do Gaiden because Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, I do Ninja Gaiden just because that's just how I pronounce it. That's how I thought it was. So that's too funny. That's too funny. You are on the Gaiden, which I think is actually correct. If I'm not mistaken, I think Gaiden is the correct one. Not that, of course, it's hard to change ways. It's hard to change ways. Trying to think, what are some other ones that people are, contested about? Gaiden. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Mario. Oh God, there are humans that do that. Oh my God. Mario. Ugh. Man, oh God, Mario. Well, out of anyone, you actually met Mario, so I mean, that's super impressive right there. I know you could have asked him if it was Mario. Go into the north end of Boston, call some Italian guy Mario, see what happens. So we're looking at probably right here. It's a bit. That is a bit, but we can do it. With patience. We can do anything. I'm pretty sure you didn't need to ask. They would have promptly have said, "Could you please leave? Could you please leave?" Let's see if we get a little filing action. We can get down there quicker. Mario. Let's see. Man. Mario. This doesn't even seem right. Mario. It's the nice thing about this being a 3D printed case So I don't feel guilty cutting the plastic, because it's not an original Virtual Boy case that it's no longer produced. If I mess up real bad, I'll go downstairs and print another one. I'd rather not print another one, especially because, you know, and it's awesome that people are printing masks. I love it. It's incredible for our amazing people on the front lines during this whole thing. But it is causing shortages in 3D print, so, which is fine. They need it way more than I do. When it comes down to the importance of playing a Virtual Boy in a box or saving lives, I'll take saving lives any day of the week. And not just because it's a Virtual Boy, which that's yeah, the 3D printed people are doing like the face masks for like first responders and stuff. Yeah, so it's 3D print filament's hard to get right now. For at least my stuff I usually get. I've been out of stock on Amazon for a bit. I actually did run out. And then like on eBay they're going for like, yeah, the shield type. So it's like a face shield, but they do like a 3D ring around. Mm-hmm. So I kind of need to get this done in one shot. Yeah, I might do a little bit more this way, because I don't want to 3D print again. Let's see how much we do there. Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. I knew this one was going to be the harder one. The switch. Because it's weird, it's oblong, it's bigger. So it actually is going to put out what output? Video or power? Well, I guess you don't really input power. For output, I put in a VGA and I did RGB. And it doesn't do it natively. I have these boards in here that actually, where is it? It's underneath this big old ribbon cable. But essentially what it does is the Virtual Boy sends 2 pictures out to each eye. So each of these ribbon cables would be a different eye. But instead of going to the lens, the LED lens in the eye, it now goes to these little boards that, you know, essentially encode it for VGA, which is the most accurate to what you would see, and then RGB, which, because it's NTSC, it has to stretch it just a little bit. So actually VGA is better, but the RGB is just a lot easier. Weird enough, my TV will only accept it on one port for the VGA, and it's not even the port that's meant. It's not even the port that's meant to like do like PC and weird resolutions. Makes no sense. So yeah, that's why I put in the RGB not too long ago, because I was like, sometimes I just want to play it, and just play it nice and easy. You don't want to like mess around with it, you know. Yeah, VGA does, and again, a lot of it's because it has, it's not just like clean, you know, like C-Sync, like composite sync or anything like that. It's, you know, the H and the V, the horizontal and the vertical, are 2 separate syncs, and that just messes stuff up sometimes. So it's technically RGB HV, versus this is, the RGB here is RGBS, which is just sync, one sync, which is all your TV wants, one sync, it doesn't want any more. Your computer monitor? Oh, I'll take it all. Take it all day. Yeah, even but the OSSC does a good job with it. The only issue is, even with the OSSC, still sometimes with my TV has trouble with the VGA output. So more options is better. I mean, literally, there's 2 eyes, so I could do 2 boards, 2 different outputs. So I was like, oh yeah, why not? It literally affects nothing. Not a thing. you could technically run both at the same time, because it would normally run both at the same time in your eye. and you can change the color. That's another thing. I put a button here so you can actually change the color. So it still uses the Virtual Boy controller, the weird 2 D-pad controller. So, and I didn't bring it down, but if I got it, you can see just how small that extension is. So you have to be real close to your power supply. It's very uncomfortable. No, I slipped there. That's alright. Yeah, quite a bit more to go. I knew I would too. Let's see if I can cheat. It kind of is. It really is. It's just a weird controller overall. But it's surprisingly comfortable, especially with the 2 buttons on the back. It's surprisingly comfortable. Probably the only thing comfortable about this system, to be honest. Because honestly, the untouched system I have that I fixed the lenses by resoldering them. Oh my god, I really cannot play that for a long time. Oh god, I can't. Let's say if you can do VR, it does not mean you can do Virtual Boy. That is a fact. Quite a bit more to go. That's hopefully how it'll look, though. It's literally, I mean, I ask myself why? Why do I do so much for this system? Like, this system is, it's never done me any good. And then I think, Wario Land's awesome. Like, I think, isn't that the... I think it's the card I took out, or I think I put it over on the other side of the table, but yeah, it's just the card that stays in there. I have the Flash card, I call it the Flash Boy, for the Virtual Boy, and I don't really flash any games on it because I just play Wario Land, and Wario Land's really fun. But yeah, Telebox is all right. Super Mario Tennis is all right. The Super Mario Brothers with the you know, where you can switch back and forth on the planes is alright. But, you know, as you know, there's no standouts. Oh, Ness's Funky Bowling. I forgot about that. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Dude, Ness from Nintendo Power. Oh, I think that's what it is. Super Mario Clash I was thinking about, I think. That was the one that you go back and forth on different planes, and with the... It's like the original Super Mario... Sorry, the original Mario Brothers. But just in 3D. Again, cool concept, but yeah, I kind of know why it didn't take off. Kind of know why all of this didn't take off with the Virtual Boy, but it's... Anytime you have to start up a console that has an automatic pause every 15 minutes so you don't get a headache. Yeah, that's a good sign. I really gotta think, how did they get away with it? And the thing that stinks too is the technology was there. They could have done more colors, it just would have been more expensive. The red LEDs were literally the cheapest they could have gotten away with, so they did. Another slip, oh well. But nevertheless, that's what happens. You know, they had to go cheap Cheap, 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 cheap. That's why I'm doing this first. This is the worst part about modding, is cutting any type of plastic. Soldering, for me, super easy. It's like, oh my goodness. Cutting plastic for me is like the, I hate doing it. For multiple reasons. For preservation reasons and, you know, yeah. Yeah, the prototype was better. Significantly better. If that thing came out, oh, that could have changed the gaming industry, but I also think it would have been so expensive that it wouldn't have sold well either, but it may have sold better than it, you know, the Virtual Boy did, so, you know. Virtual Boy did a great job of not selling. Did a great job of alluring people to buy it, but no one actually buying it. Because then they tried it in the store and was like, this is horrible. But hey, you know, I'm a masochist, you know. I own a CDI, I'm a masochist. So, that's why I like the Virtual Boy. Although if I had to pick, I don't know. I think maybe I would pick CDI over the Virtual Boy. You know, why am I doing this? You know, I'm done. I'm done. Why am I doing this to a Virtual Boy? No, I'm kidding. Oh, Super Mario Wacky Worlds. Exactly. I agree. Again, oh, you saw it, right? I downloaded a prototype and played it on my CDI once, and yeah, it was awesome. You know, obviously it's completely unfinished, so you know you don't ever die when you fall down holes, and you know the enemies don't really show up. But and the ones that do don't really hurt you. But I agree. I think you know it looked awesome. It looked like Super Mario World, but you know, through time, through history and time. I would have loved it as long as the levels were good. You know, would have been all right. What could have been? I think, yeah, they kind of shut the doors on it, especially when they started seeing just how bad it was with even some of those, God, so many games that just weren't great on the CDI. Again, the Zeldas are the first, obviously, that comes to everyone's mind, but Zeldas weren't the only ones that were on that thing. But again, can't forget, it wasn't really made, you know, for just gaming. In fact, when you really think about it, the CDI was completely ahead of its time because it tried to be an all-in-one multi, you know, living room set, media center, you know, and, well, let's just be serious. That's what the Xbox One wanted to be, you know. You have the Xbox One that was trying to be this, what the CDI was so many years ago. So when you think about it, the CDI really was ahead of its time. Do I think they should re-release it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Philips, you just keep to making other electronics that are not CDI compatible. CDI, compact disc, interactive. It even just sounds cool, you know? We had it all. Could have been. It's true. Although forward-thinking, fun fact, the CDI light gun is the only light gun that actually does still work on a flat screen TV. You do not need a CRT to play CDI light games. So for Hulk Hogan's Thunder in Paradise, you can play that right on your 4K TV if you want. No problems at all with it. And it works well too. I actually really like that game too, Thunder in Paradise. I think it's fantastic. You just literally are living out an episode, and Hulk Hogan's talking to you. So I mean, it's like every child's dream back when. It's, or you know, 32-year-old man's dream as well. But you know, I get old Hogan. Should probably say that. Old, you know, he's lately. And you know what? Speaking of Hogan, a movie I used to love way back in the day, and you probably already know what I'm going to say too, Paul. I know you already know what I'm going to say. Suburban Commando. Oh my gosh, that movie is amazing. It's, first off, super 90s still. And second off, the fact that, like, you know, like, it's just Hulk Hogan. I mean, it's amazing. '80s Hulk Hogan. Well, I think that was actually '90s, but '80s/90s Hulk Hogan. Oh man, we're close too. We're close. Suburban Commando. Fantastic movie. You never hear about it. I never see it at Blockbuster, you know? What other movies was Hogan in? Mr. Nanny. Oh, Santa with Muscles. Oh my gosh, it's all coming back to me. It's like a flashback. It's all coming back to me right now. Oh my gosh, Santa with Muscles was a good one. I forgot about that. I don't know. I just had a thing with Suburban Commando because like my brother recorded it off. I think it was like, I don't know, either a rental tape or TV or something. And cause I just remember it was on a blank VHS tape. And oh god, just watch it all the time. Getting there. Slowly but surely, alright. This is all because of stuff after the fact. You know, if I thought about it when I printed it, you know, I'd have been like, oh yeah, but... Or thought about it when it printed, I should say. But that's alright. Oh my god, 3 Ninjas? There's another one? I've seen 3 Ninjas and then 3 Ninjas Strike Back. I did not know this High Noon at Mega Mountain. Oh my goodness. That sounds like a quarantine movie right there, you know? Yeah, one thing that came up, and I kind of like, definitely want to watch it again, because I haven't watched it literally in years, is the Mighty Duck movies, you know? Emilio Estevez, man. Oh my gosh. That's something I wanna watch. I haven't watched it forever. I just remember the goalie. You know, the goalie is like the bigger kid there. He was like wicked funny. He's like the funny guy. God, that was such a good movie. It's like one of those movies that, like, when I have kids, it would literally be a disservice if I did not show them that movie. It would be a disservice on my part as a parent. No. Yeah, Goldberg. That's it. That's his name. Yeah. No. Oh. He was supposed to rise above. Winners say no to drugs. I know this. It says it on every arcade machine. It's got to be true. Didn't we declared war on drugs? They declared war on drugs. How did drugs win? If they took Goldberg, drugs won. I'm not okay with it. That's exactly. That's what the FBI told you in every game. I'm sorry. Did you want to play some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Turtles in Time? Well, FYI, don't use drugs. Winners don't use drugs. Yeah, we grew up in a fantastic era. I just want to say that. I know everyone's like, oh, technology the kids have today and da 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 da, but nah, man, we had, oh my goodness. We had arcades. We won. Hands down. Keep your blazing fast internets. We had arcades. So now that it's almost in, I can kind of like finely tune it here. And I mean like real arcades, you know? Yeah, there's Dave and Buster's, and it's good time. Dave and Buster's is a good time, but it's not, it doesn't feel like the arcades of old, like at all. It's because it isn't. It's a different type of arcade. Like the one we went to in Rhode Island, oh, that was an awesome one. The Free Play, that was an awesome one. Anytime they have a sit-down cab of Outrun, you're in a good place. Or obviously the obvious one, it's Fun Spot. Hell, we even had Nick Arcade. Oh my gosh, was that Omar was the host there, right? I think. Oh my gosh. So Nick Arcade was done with all blue screen, and they had to watch themselves on the monitor as they were doing it. It was pretty amazing technology back then. But I couldn't even imagine being those kids and just like jumping all over like this blue stairs and background, trying to avoid, you know, things that are literally coming at you virtually. That you have to watch on a monitor. It's literally like playing an iToy on like a CRT a long way, like really away. Yeah, I'm sure there's I think there's stuff on YouTube all about it. But yeah, it's crazy to think that that's what they did. Because again, it was a CRT. It wasn't like a huge screen, so you know, didn't have a CRT projector, which are a real thing, which are awesome. But it wasn't on a CRT projector. It was on literally a TV on a cart, just like the exciting moment when that rolled in. Oh my gosh, back in the day. You were in class and that cart rolled in, you knew it was going to be a good day. It's just not the same when there's a you know, huge touchscreen smartboard that you use in class. Like, oh, maybe watch a video of it, maybe not. It's not the same as like just rolling that CRT just right in. It's a magical moment. The funny thing though is that like BP still had those back when I graduated in 05, and you know, in 2004 I was still like, oh man, they're rolling in the CRT. I just, you know, get some F's in the chat for those dead CRTs now that schools just threw away. Some of them could have been professional monitors. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. Yeah. F in the chat. It's right. You know, I'll even. There it is. There it is. Oh, that blade broke. But I got plenty. Because I try to take off a little too much at once. A little too much. Look at that thing, huh? That's a sad blade now. I agree. The issue is it would be very expensive, as all those manufacturing plants have long been dead and gone and everything else. So I think it's the reason why they don't make a CRT anymore, is the amount of money it would be is not even worth it, I bet. Excuse me, but it's sad. It's very sad. Yeah, they are. Very sad. Indeed. Kickstarter.com. You know, it's funny you say that, because you're actually not wrong. I mean, I think there's enough of a demand. I never turn my light on. There we go. I think there's enough of a demand that, yeah, it actually might it would actually maybe work. It might actually take off. Especially if there was like, you know, RGB in and stuff like that. That's a good point. I'm surprised no one's tried that yet. I mean, granted, I think it would be a crazy endeavor, but could be worth it. For now, though, we just got to keep the ones we got going. Change capacitors when we can. You know, if you ever work on a CRT, make sure to discharge. So I'm going to be working on a CRT soon myself. I'm going to be working on my Vectrex. Do a quick recap on that thing soon, so stay tuned for that. Follow. Because that's always fun, discharging tubes. That's one that I would have to be like, do not try this at home, you will die. Let's see, take this out. This is a very custom job here. Yeah, this would be good to stream too. So the VGA and the RGB out, and you could stream both at the same time. So I could see the VGA, stream out the RGB, or vice versa. Don't even need any splitters or anything. Straight from the board. I do not doubt that, Paul. I do not doubt that. Yeah, Nintendo knows how to drop something and try to make the public forget about it real fast. Cough, cough, Wii U, cough, cough. You know, if it wasn't successful. If it is successful, they know how to milk that cow like there's no tomorrow. Which I will be, I'm a huge defender of the Wii U. I think the Wii U will be a, you know, let's put it this way, I don't think the Wii U's hit its prime yet. It'll hit its prime when people look back. Some of the games that are locked to the console, depending how many are going to be locked to the console, because, you know, Nintendo's clearly been porting everything to it, which is, you know, good. Exactly. The Game Boy just went on forever. And this, you know, the Game Boy, what's very interesting is people will say that the Game Boy, you know, is a separate system from the Game Boy Color. Now, I think it is. Others do not. Others think that it's just a ramped up Game Boy, but in reality it is. But there are, you know, exclusives you can only play on the Game Boy Color, so I think that makes it its own console, and it's actually the CPU was clocked faster. So I would consider that, you know, not like a PS4 Pro. I would consider that its own console. A refresh, yeah. I mean, if there wasn't like so many exclusives, that's what it is. You know, like Metal Gear Solid, great game. In fact, that's the reason why I bought a Game Boy Color, was for that. Most people were buying it for Pokemon. I did not. I bought it for Metal Gear Solid. Oh, and Resident Evil Gaiden, which I still have. Super Mario DX. Oh yeah, see? I know, I ended up getting Link's Awakening DX as well. I still have that. But yeah, because I actually didn't play Link's Awakening the original until I got DX. You know, whenever that, 99, something like that. And I fell in love with it. I thought Link's Awakening was a fantastic game. And the new one, oh my goodness, so good. I think they did it justice. Triple H and Harper Kid? What? Is there a WWE version I'm not aware of for Link's Awakening? DX. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Took me a second, but I see what you did there. Oh my gosh. It's the original DX too. Yeah. Triple H, China, HBK. Although I loved Billy Gunn, you know, and the Road Dogg, Jesse James. I just love that, you know, only in the early 2000s, like legit 99, 2000, that it didn't matter if a man came out to a song called "I'm an Ass Man." I'm an ass man. Badass Billy Gunn. With lips all over his shorts, yes. Yeah, you know, man, wrestling was the Attitude Era. I love it. I think it's amazing. I mean, you've got, you know, one of the most ridiculous chauvinistic characters of all time, Val Venus, right? Like Val Venus, like he comes out to "Hello, ladies." Like, you can't get away with that stuff nowadays. The whole crowd will have a lawsuit on you, you know? It is crazy, though. Exactly. Like, what era? Like, what an era of TV. It was a different time. Yep. It was a different time. But, you know, Vince McMahon knew how to print money, so, you know. Like, he printed so much money. Cut myself there. Printed so much money that he legit bought his competition. Like, it was a monopoly for so long. And now we got, you know, a few other federations, you know. But oh my gosh, once they bought out WCW, ECW, it was just crazy. So it's right there. That's where it's hitting. Okay. Yeah, I might have to tend to this wound in a minute. I know, it's just crazy. Like, I wish I thought of all this stuff before I printed. Then I wouldn't have to do all this, but this was like a how to improve. Especially, you know, after doing it and like going, oh, wait a minute. Always room for improvement. You got it. You got it. Close though. Oh, I might have just, that might be it. That might have been it. Look, that was. Boom. I'll be back. Put a band-aid on this real quick. I'm alive. I know I can't take credit for this 3D print either. The maker is Marcus Mitchum. He designed it and everything. He's good people. Good people. Designed it, put it on Thingiverse. Good stuff. Good stuff. Always love, but things are given to the community. However, his doesn't have a power supply, but hole, so fixing that now. Also, I think the switch might hit the cartridge pins, so I'm fixing that now as well. Pliers, where are you? There you are. Yeah, here it is. Wario Land. Oh, fantastic game. It's the only reason to own this thing. A Neo Geo Pocket Color console. That's an idea. I'd have to look a little bit more into it, see how. I think that might be doable. I did front light and backlight, my two Neo Geo Pocket Colors. I love the Neo Geo Pocket Color. I think it's a fantastic console. Can talk about another one that just like, again, could not compete with Nintendo. Nothing good. back then, but in the handheld market. So yeah, there it is. Okay. I don't know. I think that'll look pretty good. Nice. Well, I have a Wonder Swan. Yep. And Wonder Swan's, it's alright. I mean, some people really love it, and I give them, you know, it's awesome. I have a flash cart for it, so I have like 15 games. I think you can put on the flash card at a time. So right now it's got like 15 games on it. But yeah, it's a good console. I have the Wonder Swan Color. I do not have the Swan Crystal. That's the one a lot of people are all about. But you know, maybe one day. Maybe one day. But yeah, it's actually for me not, you know, it's not my favorite console. I just have one, just haven't gotten into it too much, and I think that's what it is. If I got into it more, maybe it'd be different. It's just weird to think that there's like Final Fantasies and stuff on that console. Because with Final Fantasy, you always think, you know, PlayStation or originally Nintendo, but it's on a Wonder Swan. Which the Wonder Swan was made by Gunpei Yokoi, who is the creator of the Virtual Boy. We just went full circle. He's also the creator of the original Game Boy. He should probably be more remembered for that and not for this thing, but you know. Just give it a shout out. Give it a shout out. Yeah, Gunpei Yokoi was ahead of his time. He's a smart fella. It's said that he got the idea for the Game Boy because he saw a man playing with his calculator on a train. Because he was so bored. He was like, I could do something better. And that's when he created the Game & Watches, and then eventually the Game & Watch essentially morphs into the Game Boy. Essentially. Obviously cartridges and things like that, but, you know. Just follow that handheld trend. Alright, so let's see which pin is the center positive. And because the 100% that guy was typing boobs. Oh, he totally was. Totally was. Totally was. I mean, what else do you do on a calculator? Am I right? Alright, so the shorter pin, that's what I figured it would be, is the positive. So whenever you see a power supply that says center positive, it means literally the positive pin in there is positive. The center pin is positive. Yep. And then the outer wall is ground, which is the longer pin. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think I need to wire up the third leg on that switch to a ground to get it to light, which won't be bad at all. Make extra hardware, put that over here. Yeah, I'll use this for wire. Maybe I'll do the black one. I'll do black. It's a little bit thicker. All right, you enjoy dinner. Thank you for stopping by. Virtual Pound. All right, take care, Paul. Thanks for dropping in. Oh, there's my black wire right there. Here we go. All right, this is yeah, it's thicker than the rainbow wire. Let's put on some other synth. There we go. You know, I think New Retro Cave does a lot of this music. He's amazing. He's good. Go to his YouTube channel. Follow that guy. Subscribe to that guy. He's good. So am I focused in right now that I'm finally getting to some soldering here? Should we move these wires just like a little out of the way? Alright, what we're gonna do. Really, I'm just like not liking how close these wires are. I don't want to screw everything, so I'm just gonna move things over. Yeah, I did decide to go with the barrel jack just because it's a little more durable, I think. So, the power is technically wiring it up backwards, I guess, but it's going to be coming from here, interrupt with the switch, going to the controller port, which is where it needs to go. And then from there, I'm going to go into the board. Here, let me turn that up a little bit, actually. There we go. I was gonna do this anyway today, so figured I might as well stream it. Especially because one thing in particular is that this mod, we're kind of going into uncharted territories. It's not really well documented, at least not yet. So we're kind of into uncharted territory. Again, worst case scenario, if anything goes wrong, I've got 3 virtual plays. So, you know. Again, because I'm a masochist, 3 virtual plays. And again, shout out to Furtech for these amazing boards. Oh my gosh, the virtual tap is incredible. Again, the VGA looks, and the RGB both look so good. Okay, we're looking good there. I would actually prefer if I could release this. I test fit it, but it really snapped into place. There we go. Just because it'll be easier. Again, I mod a lot of stuff, so feel free to ask any questions in the chat if you're like, you know, if you're into modding, what are you modding, what do you want modded, what are you excited about in the gaming community right now, which the gaming community is literally on fire. Oh my gosh, you know, because of the unfortunate events going on right now, but I mean, I think Switch consoles prove that right now. They're so high in demand. High demand and short stocked, unfortunately. I'm not a supporter of scalping at all, so I feel bad for people who just want to play. You know, maybe they just want to play, you know, Animal Crossing, and they just can't. Or any other of the amazing titles on the Switch. So I'm looking around for my helping hands. Did I even put that thing? I think every modder can relate when you're like, oh yeah, I should probably have, you know, brought that out, but instead I'm gonna struggle, do it the hard way, even though the tool is not that far behind me. I would have to go look into a box though. Oh, I hit some of the plastic. in some wires. Before I get too in depth with that power supply, I did want to real quick just clean up that hole. Little file here. Well, I am just making a mess. That a little bit more as solder. So what do you say? Solder? Solder? Just need a third hand, that's all. Just a third hand. If anyone's got one lying around. Good luck to me with this soldering one right there. Oof. Oh, sometimes I get a little too anal with my soldering. I'm like, should I go over it again? Is it good? It's good. It's good. It's good, Dave. It's good. Beautiful. Not touching a thing. Alright, so we want positive, negative. Got that. Alright, there's the nut. Making a little bit of a mess here. That's okay. Should just probably put that down. I'll feed this out for now. It's just gonna make things easier, you know? It's funny because after this mod, setup done. Done! It's Virtual Boy. It's good enough. I'll find something else. I always do. Find something else. Whoop. Over there. Alright. So that's ground. That's your longer one. Yeah, see, soldering wise, it's an easy mod. It's just for this, you know, this case, a little bit of cutting and things like that. That's what took forever. So positive on the small pin because it's this one's a center positive. Now what this means is that don't you dare try to plug in a Super Nintendo, not that it would fit, but a Super Nintendo power supply, because a Super Nintendo power supply is a center negative, which is kind of an oddity nowadays. So making a center positive is a good thing. And again, like I said, it's going to be a little more modernized. It's more of a laptop universal power supply I'll use. So running low on solder. Sheesh. But I bought more, so we'll be alright. We'll live. Alright, before I put that up, I just want to check one thing. Make sure continuity-wise we're in good shape. So over here to here, no continuity because the switch is off. Turn the switch on to like hold it. Actually do it right to the center, right? Ground is good. Okay. Hold it like this. That's it. That's it. That's all she wrote. So to recap, what it's going to do is, once I put this in here, actually I should do that right. I should do that. I should have shown the wires a bit, but it's fine. It's fine. I meant for the nut to go on the other side. Cheeky. Easy fix. See, none of you guys told me that. You guys were just watching me. None of you told me. You just wanted to see it happen. See, it was just my way of making a point. My way of saying, hey, don't do what I do. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult, but still doable. There we go. And the other way to do it, obviously, is to, you know, take the solder off, yada yada, but we just put the solder on. It's fresh solder. It's good solder. So. Just gotta thread the needle. Thread the needle. Then we'll be done. we'll kind of recap what we did, and you know, feel free to do this to your VB, Virtual Boy. If you plan on consoleizing it, or if you plan on not playing so close to your plug. Or, you know, if you're just sick of that power supply coming out every time you press down on a table with your controller. That's another annoyance that this fixes, which is nice. Although I will say that hasn't happened to me. I know that was a point of contention. First one goes in super smooth, looking all slick. Second one just won't even go in. It's mad at me. I get it. There we go. I actually would like to add just a little bit more solder to that one. So I took a little bit of solder away. A little more solder ain't gonna hurt. Not on that fitting that big and that far apart from everything. Alrighty. Yeah, 3D printing is insanely amazing. Just what you can do with it and stuff. You know, stuff like this wouldn't have been possible so many years ago. Like a resident, you know, it's really, you know, 'cause 3D printing's been around technically since the 1980s, if you didn't know, but very much stuck in the commercial realm, if you will. You know, making it, you know, residential, you know, affordable to your average schmoes is the reason why you get cool designs. You know, the fact that people look at something and go, I could change that. I could design that better. And they do. And it's a great, you know, open source community too. You know, just throw it up on MakerBot's Thingiverse there. It's great. It really, really is. There we go. Fun fact, this entire thing is smaller than an actual Virtual Boy headset. So the fact that you could fit this much stuff in there, it's pretty insane actually. I'm not a fan of using hot glue, you know, I will when I have to, but that's why I like these power jacks, because it's all, you know, secured by a nut, which is good. And that's me, I'm that nut. Cool. Tucking the wires. I'm gonna tuck around that cap. Alright. Look at that, huh? So again, what's gonna happen? First off, that's the finished product here. So you got switch with an LED, so you know it's on. So you can have your, and actually it looks really good. Oh, look at that. Look at that, huh? Look at that. Focusing in there, camera. Look at that. Came out super good. Look at that. So again, plug it in. Power is going to go whoop, to the switch. Turn the switch on. Whoop. Power is going to go to the controller port. See, so this where the red wire is. You can see right here. See, I just went to the other side of the pin, and now that from there, it's just going to travel down this wire, boom, to here. Done. See, just coming in a different way. And I took the ground right from that pin there, which is the ground all around. Ground all around, exactly. Ground round. Hashtag miss that place. And there you go. And so the ground, I fed it to the LED switch. So the reason why is because this one has a LED on it. So because it has an LED, it needs a ground. Wouldn't work without a ground. So that's what that ground does. And then from that ground, it just goes over to the power jack. Okay. It's a lot of 3D print stuff. That's okay. We'll go empty that out. Go over the trash barrel later. What we'll do is we'll seal this up. And I'm going to set, because again, this Virtual Boy, what you want to do is you want to make sure you're at 9 volts. 9 volts. Believe it or not, amperage doesn't matter on like game consoles, especially well, within reason, doesn't matter, because the console's only going to use as much as it wants to use. So I believe it's the power supply I got off Amazon is a 9 volt, which again would be perfect. I think this thing has, was it 4 AA's at 1.5 volts a piece. So no, it's 6. It's got to be 6 then. All I know is I did the math, and it's, yeah. So yeah, I did. I said it earlier in the stream. That's right. It is 6. 6 at 1.5 volts in series means that it is a 9 volts that it'll take. But again, that's within tolerance too. You could do 10 volts, but 10 volts is a weird one. But guess what uses 10 volts? The original power supply for the Super Nintendo, which is also the power supply for the Virtual Boy. I do have the, I don't know what they call it. Virtual pack, some 90s like. I do have that upstairs. I have both. I have the battery pack, and then I also have the one for the power supply. But again, this is just meant to be a way to play it without having to be 2 seconds, not 2 seconds, 2 feet from your wall wart. So especially having a laptop one that I got, it's got a good amount of length on it. My next project would probably be with this Virtual Boy is creating an extension cord, which I could 3D print that joystick connection. It's not a standard size, so being not a standard size, it's there's a 3D print out there on I think Planet Virtual Boy on the forums. Yeah, just wire it up and you get an extension. So that might be the next one, but for now, I think I'm just gonna enjoy playing Wario World, not 2 feet from my TV and an outlet. Again, 'cause it's super inconvenient going to the controller, but it was a portable system. There we go. Again, shout out to Marcus Mitchum. Again, this design is so good. It's amazing. It really is. And I know he's improving it, which is good. But I think today we did a great job improving it as well. All right, thanks for joining me. Thank you. And hopefully this helps out you if you want to go ahead and add a power supply to your Virtual Boy Consolizer. Okay? All right, thanks for joining me, guys. See you later.